Okay. Good job in supply and demand. We won't be leaving that forever. We'll be using it as we come all the way through these next units. But let's move on into micro 2.2. All right, the first thing I want us to talk about is price. How does price act as a signal to you as a consumer? How does price send signals to you as a consumer? Megan?
Whether to buy it or not.
Whether to buy it or not. What is a signal for you to buy?
Low price.
Say that.
Low price.
Low price. If it's low, that's a signal to you, yes, I want to buy. If it's high, that's a signal to you to what?
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone, I'm not interested. So when we talked about the fact that the local Chinese restaurant has now expanded their buffet bar for lunch and dropped their price by about 50 cents, that's a signal for you guys to do what?
Go eat.
To go eat. Yes, as some of you have already said, you want to go eat there. But when you found out that one of the local pizza joints has left their buffet price the same, but they've removed those wonderful chicken wings that you like to eat, what was that a signal for? Don't go, no, not if you were going for the wings, then you're going to pay $8 and you're not going to get what you were going for. All right, so price is determined by supply and demand in a marketplace. And that's how we determine that equilibrium and the prices that we look at. Changes in supply and demand do affect price. What happens if there's a shortage of something? What's going to happen to price? Why will it go up? There's not enough of it to go around, and so the people that are trying to get it are willing to pay higher prices for it. What happens when there's a surplus of goods?
Decrease.
Why would it decrease?
Because you got more than enough of it, so you can.
I'm like, are you really? You charging $10 for that? I'm not paying more than $5. I'll walk away because I know I can always go
somewhere else.
Get it somewhere else. And so you see the prices begin to drop. All right? Prices do provide.
Pardon this interruption, Miss Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is Miss Writing Guidance. Can you send Macy Krause to guidance, please?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right? They provide incentives to both buyers and sellers. Now, what does incentive mean? Incentive. It's a benefit. It's something to motivate you. So an incentive is something to make you want to do better, to make you want to go spend money, those sorts of things. All right? Price elasticity. Let's review that real quickly. Elastic.
Do without it.
I can do without it. Inelastic. I've got to have it. It is a necessity that I can't do without. All right, so in price elasticity, we have inelastic and elastic good. Inelastic, the change in price is greater than the change in quantity demanded. You change the price and you're still selling the same amount of stuff. That tells you you must have an inelastic good. Elastic goods, you change the price, I walk away. So you see a tremendous change in the quantity demanded of your goods or your services. All right, so an example then of what we want to ask ourselves, can the purchase be delayed? Are adequate substitutes available? And does it take a large portion of my income? So Shakina, if I'm talking about a new dress, and you've got a closet full of dresses at home, all right, can the purchase be delayed? Do you have to have the new dress today? No. Are there substitutes for this dress? Could you find a dress similar to it somewhere else? Yes. And will it take a large amount of your income? Depends on what the price is, but we've already determined this dress is pretty elastic. She doesn't have to have it. All right? On the flip side, let's take a diabetic that needs what? What's that medicine they need? Insulin. All right? Can the purchase be delayed? You're out of insulin. No. Are there substitutes for it? No. Got to have the insulin. There might be different brands of it, but it's still insulin. And does it cost a large portion of my income? Probably, because it is a medicine that is needed, but does it matter to me? Because the alternative is I'm not going to be in very good health if I'm even going to be alive if I don't take it. So insulin is inelastic. Shakina's dress is very elastic. I can walk away from it. So when you open a store, when we look up here at these different stores that First Block is opening, please with the cherry on top, an ice cream store. Would that be elastic or inelastic?
Elastic.
Elastic, because I could always go to Walmart or Dairy Queen or some of those places and get ice cream. It's not that important. All right, on the flip side, what about drugstore? Johnson's Drugs.
CVS, you got
There are substitutes. Would you say a drugstore is more or less elastic than an ice cream shop? Less elastic, because it does sell something we need.
Which one are you closer to?
That is true, Steve. You got to think about it. It depends on how bad that craving for ice cream is. So you might really, really want it. But a lot of the businesses that we've got listed up here are pretty elastic. What about Tots and Toys Daycare that Haley said she wants to open? Elastic or inelastic? Tots and Toys Daycare.
It depends if you have kids or not.
Okay, it depends on if you have kids or not. You're exactly right. But if I have kids, a daycare is probably a big necessity. Now, are there substitutes?
Yeah, grandma.
Yes, I got other choices. But I'm not going to stretch way out, because bottom line is I do have to have daycare for my children.
Good thing.
And I want good daycare. So you got to look at whether I have any substitutes for that or not, because I want to know my children are taken care of. So it'll move a little bit. There are some other competitors, but not a lot. It's not really elastic. All right? So when we look at these two shots, we've got Fruit Loops and cigarettes. Which one of these would be more elastic than the other? All right, I'm hearing disagreement. I'm hearing some people saying Fruit Loops and some people are saying cigarettes. Which one's more elastic than the other? Which one is easier to walk away from? Fruit Loops. Why?
Many more cereal you take.
The purchase could be delayed. I don't have to have Fruit Loops right now. And are there substitutes for Fruit Loops?
Yeah.
Yes, I could go buy the other brands of it, and so I don't have to have it. On the flip side, with cigarettes, depending on who it is needing them, cigarettes could be kind of inelastic if you're really hooked and it's a desperate need. All right? Now, real quickly, I want us to talk about something called price ceilings and price floors. Okay, look at this model that I have on the board. I've drawn our curves with supply and demand. And what's this middle point? Review with me. Equilibrium. And how do I know this is the demand curve?
Slope down.
Slopes downward, so DD, demand down, and then supply is always sloping upward. All right, so the middle is equilibrium, and I know where to set my prices. A price floor is the lowest price that I can set for a good or service. Now, we've talked about, what's an example, a great example of price floor? Minimum wage. I can't go any lower than minimum wage. But Ashton said, well, what's the highest you can go?
It doesn't matter.
There is no set price on the highest end of what I can pay someone, unless you're working under a contract negotiation and you've got to keep it under a certain budget. But there is a government set price floor. All right, on the flip side of that, there are things called price ceilings. All right, so I use the example, like me as a teacher, if I were to leave this district and apply for a job in another district, I have a 4-year degree, a master's degree, and a specialist degree, and I have 21 years experience. Our state does set a price floor for the bottom amount they can pay me based on those degrees and that years of experience. So some districts might say, oh, she's going to cost a little too much. Nah, our ceiling is up here and we've got to hire this many teachers. We could hire 2 brand new ones almost for the price of her. I'm sorry, Miss Williams, we probably don't want you. But then there might be a district that would say, no, I think I want her. She's got a lot of experience. She's got the knowledge. I've heard good things about her. Let's bring her in because I want her to mentor to others. What would that district be investing in then with me? Human capital. That's back from fundamentals, and I'm glad that you remember that. So we use the example of New Orleans. After the flood, places to live were very limited, and a lot of construction people that built these places were really wanting to take advantage of that. And so they yanked the prices of those apartments way out the roof, way above fair market value. The government stepped in and said, what? No. Whoa, 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 whoa. You are taking advantage of people. Let's bring it back down. And so when the government stepped in, they set price ceilings on how much you could charge. Now, you can go under, but you can't go over for rent for these apartments in order to make it fair to everyone. All right, so we understand price is a signal. Price can be elastic and inelastic depending on the good or service. And we understand price ceilings and price floors. Feel pretty good about it?